Fox 32 has information indicating the FBI has launched an investigation into controversial Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard.
Dane Placco has been following allegations of her misspending and joins us now with an update. Dane.
The store came here to the gas station. It's on his live. All the evidence is on this boy's live. Okay. He said, "Oh, I got him now. I'm gonna pull up now and jump out." He jumped off the car. He was recording it with his phone. Walked up to our car, and then we was bagging out. We pulled over right here, and it should be on their cameras too, so you'll see.
I'm happy that justice is being served.
Millions of dollars concealed, a life of luxury built on deceit, and now the scandal everyone has been waiting for. Tiffany Henyard, the so-called super mayor, has surrendered herself, following a dramatic FBI raid that exposed her hidden secrets. Her extravagant lifestyle, funded by taxpayer dollars while her town floundered in debt, is crashing down. Facing up to 25 years in prison, Henyard's downfall is about to blow the lid off everything. Tiffany Henyard, once the seemingly untouchable super mayor of Dalton, Illinois, now stands accused of 22 federal charges. This isn't just a typical corruption case. It's about millions of dollars in taxpayer funds allegedly mismanaged and outright concealed. The FBI had been keeping a close watch on her for months. After issuing subpoenas and piecing together backdoor whispers, they finally made their move. And here's the twist. This isn't Henyard's first encounter with the law. Previously arrested for vehicle trespassing, she's now faced with a lengthy list of charges that could mean significant prison time. Hey, wait viewers, if you haven't subscribed my channel, hit the subscribe button. Let's get back to our topic. Henyard displayed a blatant disregard for the residents of Dalton and the town's finances. While the city fell into financial disarray, she flaunted her power, cruising around in a taxpayer-funded motorcade. How does a town go from financial stability to deep in debt within a single year? 2 words: Mayor Moneybags. Henyard wasn't just living beyond her means. She was living extravagantly on Dalton's funds. What do you think should be the minimum punishment for her crimes involving the betrayal of U.S. citizens? Please comment with your answers. Imagine this: a $7,700 shopping spree at Target, Walgreens, and Wayfair, all in a single day, September 1st, 2023. That's not a modest shopping trip. It's a full-blown spending spree paid for by the hard-working taxpayers of Dalton. And as if that weren't enough, Henyard refused to settle for anything less than first-class flights. She also hired a professional hair and makeup team, apparently believing that maintaining a glamorous appearance was essential while mismanaging a town. In just 1 year, Henyard's administration accumulated over $12,000 in travel expenses. Dalton's financial state deteriorated from a surplus of $5.6 million to a deficit of $3.6 million. As Dalton's finances crumbled, Henyard continued to live like a high-profile celebrity. The outrage was so severe that Dalton had to prohibit her from using village credit cards for unauthorized purchases. Imagine being the mayor and having your spending privileges revoked. But the splurging didn't stop there. Hold on tight, because Henyard's driveway is more than just a symbol of her excess.
We needed those officers to be on the street fighting crime. And instead, we have several officers that are riding around protecting the mayor.
While Henyard lived like she was surrounded by her own personal security detail, Dalton residents were left wondering if anyone was left to handle emergency calls. Even after having her spending privileges revoked, Henyard didn't let a little thing like rules put a damper on her festivities. It seemed as if she saw her mayoral role as ruling over her own private empire. Despite being cut off by the Illinois State Comptroller for her out-of-control spending, Henyard threw a massive bash for Dalton, blowing $50,000 on just 1 hour of performances. Kiki Wyatt and Jay Holiday each pocketed $30,000 and $20,000 respectively for their half-hour sets. And it didn't stop there. Henyard shelled out an additional $36,000 on sound systems, staff, equipment, comedians, and even $6,600 on bounce houses. Meanwhile, residents like Jennifer Roberts were outraged. "That's my money. That's the people's money," she told WGN9. Former trustee Valeria Stubbs was equally scathing, calling the event a total flop with only around 70 people in attendance. Stubbs criticized Henyard for using taxpayer dollars to boost her own image. Sher Britton, another resident, was less forgiving, stating, "Tiffany is a narcissist. She's going to do whatever she wants until they put cuffs on her." While the FBI and frustrated taxpayers were focused on Henyard's over-the-top behavior, a crucial twist was unfolding behind the scenes. Remember the quiet assistant always seen at Henyard's side? Meet Carmen Carrile, Henyard's former trusted aide. Carrile was well acquainted with Henyard's secrets and decided it was time to reveal them. Whether driven by a guilty conscience or frustration over the ongoing embezzlement, Carrile blew the whistle on Henyard's entire operation. Hey, proud American citizens, if you love America, hit the subscribe button. Let's see how many of you are loyal to our country. Carrile transitioned from being an assistant to exposing Henyard's corruption. For 2 years, she had a close-up view of Henyard's misdeeds, and she witnessed more than enough to shock anyone. Carrile went straight to the authorities with a mountain of evidence. She provided detailed accounts of how Henyard was treating Dalton like her own personal bank account, manipulating employees, vendors, and residents, all while maintaining a deceptive facade of success funded by hardworking taxpayers. In Carile's own words, "For the past 2 years, Henyard has manipulated employees, vendors, and residents, using her position to expand her influence while projecting a false image of prosperity funded by the diligent taxpayers of Thornton Township and Dalton." After Carile's revelations, she faced more than just public criticism. She was physically attacked, a harsh reminder of the risks she took to expose Henyard's corruption. Though no one has explicitly blamed Henyard, there are murmurings that she might have been involved in the attack. As the situation continues to develop, the repercussions of Henyard's actions and Carile's disclosures will undoubtedly reverberate through Dalton and beyond. Carile wasn't the only one jumping ship. Remember Keith Freeman, Henyard's former aide? He's in legal trouble too, facing accusations of bankruptcy fraud. But there's a twist. Rumor has it, Freeman is also cooperating with the FBI. Henyard has a reputation for intimidating trustees and silencing anyone who tries to expose her corrupt practices. When firing them didn't work, she used taxpayer money to ensure her face was plastered everywhere, from billboards to government buildings, creating a nightmarish scenario where she seemed omnipresent. The impact of Henyard's misconduct extends beyond financial damage. Survivors of her actions are coming forward, sharing their harrowing experiences of financial ruin and intimidation. This isn't just about a corrupt mayor. It's about someone who has upended an entire community. Just when Henyard thought she might have escaped the consequences, she found herself in the crosshairs of an even more formidable force, the FBI. The federal investigation is no small matter. The FBI isn't interested in mere pocket change. They're digging deep into Henyard's finances with a full arsenal of legal tools. Subpoenas are flying in all directions, demanding everything from credit card statements to personnel files. The probe began in earnest when the FBI swooped into Dalton's town hall, not for a casual visit, but armed with legal documents ready to uncover every misplaced cent. These subpoenas are revealing the full extent of Henyard's opulent lifestyle, including those lavish trips and her personal security detail, which made her seem like a Kardashian. The FBI isn't stopping at Henyard's official transactions. They're also scrutinizing her personal affairs. The cancer charity she touts, her political action committee, and even her private business ventures are all under the microscope. The feds are connecting the dots on Henyard's finances, and the picture they're seeing isn't pretty. Trustee Brittany Norwood voiced the frustration of many, saying, "We've been begging for someone to come in and save us. There's been a lot of spending we're not aware of, and we need answers." It seems the town's cries for help have finally reached the federal authorities. The FBI's interest isn't limited to Henyard alone. They're widening their investigation to include her political allies and anyone else who might have been involved in the financial shenanigans. Rumor has it that the FBI is employing advanced electronic surveillance to catch any under-the-table dealings Henyard and her associates might be engaged in. Amid this whirlwind, Henyard remains in her mayoral office, acting as though everything is business as usual. Some residents are growing increasingly impatient, wondering why justice seems to be moving at a snail's pace. As the town grapples with its financial mess, Henyard's decision to turn herself in has been nothing short of dramatic. Just when it seemed she might continue fighting, she made a surprising move and walked straight into the FBI's custody. What could drive a small-town mayor, accustomed to a life of luxury, to opt for a jail cell over her lavish lifestyle? Rumors suggest that Henyard might be seeking a deal with the feds, hoping for some leniency in exchange for spilling the beans on her accomplices. This turn of events isn't just about Henyard. The entire town of Dalton has been waiting anxiously to see if justice would finally come their way. Now, it appears that Henyard's ostentatious lifestyle is being swapped for a much humbler existence in a jumpsuit, a stark contrast to the first-class flights and personal stylists she once enjoyed. Ironically, her legal troubles have grown so severe that her own lawyer has abandoned her, unable to be paid despite Henyard's annual salary of over $220,000. The story of Henyard's rise and fall is one of twisted control. She inherited her comfortable position as township supervisor, complete with a hefty paycheck. To make sure no one would challenge her, she even passed a dubious ordinance that slashed the next supervisor's salary to $25,000, effectively discouraging any challengers. The outrage among residents has been building for years, culminating in rallies demanding accountability. It's gotten so dire that they've enlisted former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot to help for $400 an hour. Just think about that, calling in a former big city mayor to help clean up a small-town mess. Henyard's reckless spending and blatant disregard for the law have drawn national attention. With Dalton facing a looming $20 million debt, residents are desperate for a savior to rescue them from the chaos. The missing millions are a huge concern, and just because Henyard has turned herself in doesn't mean the funds will magically reappear. The town remains mired in financial disarray, and people are left wondering if they will ever see any of that lost money again. Adding to the chaos, Henyard is also dealing with a lawsuit from a former employee, Dwayne Thrash, who claims he was fired for refusing to participate in Henyard's schemes. Some Dalton residents are actually feeling a sense of relief, seeing Henyard's downfall as a much-needed change. The sense of living under a dark cloud is beginning to lift as the town witnesses the potential end of Henyard's reign. Henyard's scandal isn't just about financial mismanagement. Her reputation has taken a severe hit, with allegations of sexual misconduct during city trips, wrongful terminations, and even accusations of sexual assault against employees. But whether Henyard has actually turned herself in or is merely playing the system remains uncertain. Some speculate she might be trying to strike a deal or protect someone higher up. While the details of her incarceration are still unclear, residents are hopeful that it won't be long before justice is served. Comments like, "Why is this woman not in jail?" and "Why is she still the mayor?" reflect the growing frustration with the justice system's sluggishness. As pressure mounts, it's clear that Tiffany Henyard isn't going down without a fight. The battle is far from over. So, what's next for Dalton? With their mayor behind bars and their finances in shambles, the town faces a long road to recovery. However, for the first time in a while, there's a glimmer of hope. It's as if the town can finally begin to heal now that the figure of corruption has departed. Stay tuned for more updates as this story continues to unfold.